Ford Video Guy Studio in Salina, Kansas, it's McArthur Live with Tim Bartz and Sarah Davis. For all the information on ordering and production, Ford news, recalls, debunking all the fake news on social media, and whatever's on their mind, here's your hosts, Tim and Sarah. Welcome in, everybody. How is everybody doing? We are on episode 179 tonight, so glad you could join us, and some of you might still be watching my scheduling video because I pushed to try to get that out early enough, knowing it was going to last about 40 minutes. Yeah, so hopefully you guys are joining us here. And don't forget, we're recording this as a podcast. If you want to listen to it on your favorite podcasting streaming platforms, then feel free to do that, and or come join us live on Tuesday nights. So, yeah, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Doing good? Anything exciting happened this weekend? I can't remember even what I did.
My kids were sick.
Took my Christmas lights down. Yeah. Went down a lot faster than they went up.
Lebo went over and helped take down his dad's Christmas lights.
Yep.
But no, my kids were sick all weekend.
Yeah. Sick kiddos.
So we enjoyed video games.
A lot going around here, and I don't know if did you see that like they said that Kansas has a strand of TB or tuberculosis or whatever going around, but
Wichita in Kansas City.
It isn't. Yeah, I'm gonna say it is not here. It is in Kansas City, and it's like in Wyandotte County, Kansas. Didn't hear that really was that much in Wichita, mainly Kansas City, I think. But
anyway. I heard the other way around. Johnson County. Oh, Johnson County is Kansas City. So more Kansas City than Wichita.
Yes. So
I always get mixed up with something else in Wichita.
Yeah, Johnson County is in Kansas City. Anyway, so yes. But other than that, let's see. What else is going on? So hopefully,
for those of you that worked with Lee, please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He's in the hospital, doing better, but keep him in your thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. All right. What else we got going on? Let's see here. We got this weekend, Sarah and I are traveling to Orlando, Florida. For all you people down in Florida that are going to meet up with us Saturday at 12:30 p.m. at Hamlin, Florida, at the Hamlin Ford Garage.
Yes.
On this Saturday. So it'll be a lot of fun. So come join us up for that. That'll be looking forward to that. So, and I'm looking forward to the 80-degree weather. Let me tell you, it is cold, miserable today.
We're getting a nice storm.
We had like 60 degrees on Sunday. I mean, we were out. I mean, I was t-shirt.
Freezing rain on the way.
Yeah. And then 2 days later. Yep. They always say if you don't like the weather here in Kansas, just wait. It'll change. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. I said swimsuit, and of course, there's a heated indoor pool that we might be at. So I don't know. I'm not too big into swimming, so I don't know if I'll bring the suit, but I'll bring the t-shirts and the shorts. That's for sure. I'm up for that.
I actually went through while the kids were sick. I went through all of our laundry, and I was organizing the laundry, like our seasonal buckets and everything. And so I was like, well, he said it's going to be 80, so I might as well just keep my summer stuff right here.
Like, I think I only need a couple outfits. Like Saturday, Sunday, then we're back to sweatshirts and jeans on the way back.
Well, I just kept out what I planned to pack.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. We got Niles in the house here.
We do.
Yeah, that's awesome to see. But that makes me that reminds me, Niles in the house. We gotta throw this slide up there. What's in Tim's cup, and why not? What's in Sarah's cup? Since, well, you can see that, but
you have no idea what it is.
It's red liquid.
Red liquid.
It looks like it. Anyway, all right. So we'll throw that up there. You guys can do that, but don't forget. So do appreciate you guys that smash the like button and you're subscribed already. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell, because we do all things Ford related. Keep you updated, whether it be Maverick information on Maverick Mondays, it's Bronco information on Built Wild Wednesday and Bronco Sport, or Super Duty, which I was like right on the verge of not doing Super Duty, but somebody, and this is why the comments and you guys posting comments is really important to any YouTuber. Is sometimes it's that comment that gets them to keep going, right, and to keep making some content, because I was about done with Super Duty because
You
I've
actually
gotten,
told me you were done.
yeah, I gotten some pretty bad comments, and I actually was going to do a video this weekend. Like, you know what? I just don't feel it, because there was a lot of negative comments and such, that when I cast this to like Facebook and different places, that I was ready to just not do the Super Duty videos, because people don't think quite appreciate some of the content. But somebody had posted this week that they were glad to see we did a patch swap with them, and their husband really follows the Super Duty Saturday videos. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I'll do another one, see how it goes. But yeah, post those in there, give those positivities. We like to stay positive, right? We like to be nice and positive with each other, right? There's a way to do that. And sometimes we do a rant, but I always say that if I'm going to do a rant, I like to come back with the solution, right? Not just say, hey, here's the thing that I'm upset about or whatever, but I come up with a solution. So it's more of a topic that's I'm passionate about. But anyway, so we'll do a Super Duty video as well. And I think that'll be a great opportunity to be able to go over some of the, production information like we do on the Tuesdays. And those, I like doing those on the Maverick and the Bronco videos as well. Any recalls or any news going on, as well as any scheduling information. So for those of you that are, in those, you don't have to, follow the others. Uh-oh. Just had a screen that went blank. There we go.
Ooh.
Hopefully, I don't know, that's happened on several live streams. It happened last week too, once. So hopefully it's not something we're plugged in over there too, maybe. Anyway, okay. Well, there's that. So let's see what else. Yeah, make sure you're subscribed and everything. So there you go. Don't forget about our merch site. We do have, there's free shipping going through tomorrow.
Ooh.
If you're wanting to get any of our merch on our merch site, link is in the description of each of one of our videos. You can check it there. And I think coming up in a couple of weeks, there's some money off, so you might want to wait. So, and then of course you can always stay updated on things on our website, 40videoguymedia.com. It's where you can find the stream for the podcast stream, as well as ways to get connected with us. Just email us directly from there as well, that kind of stuff if you want. So, all right. So yesterday's video, Maverick Monday, we kind of talked a little bit about the that we did an overview of the screen, that center stack screen, and getting connected with Android Auto and such like that, and that kind of stuff, how easy it was to use that and add some apps to that and some other things. So you can check that video out. A lot of people liked it, so I wasn't sure. It was kind of long, 30 minutes long, but a lot of people liked that. So check out that video. Last Wednesday when they did the Strop video. Man,
Was it?
I think so. This week, I think we're going to do a walk around on a trim level that is going away for 24, but has huge amount of rebates on it right now.
You mean for 25?
Yes, going away for 25. So we have one available, and there's huge rebates on them, which is crazy why they would throw rebates when it's going away, but they probably don't want those around. Anyway, so we'll talk a little bit about Bronco later in our What's on My Mind tonight. So anyway, all right, see what else we got. Anything else? And Super Duty Saturday, we'll do a walk around on a super cab version. Don't see that too much anymore in the trucks. Regular cabs, super cabs are kind of going away. They're kind of the thing of the past. You can still get a super cab Super Duty. So I'm going to remind people of that Saturday, do a walk around on a super cab version that we have that some customers turned down. We had actually a company that took a couple, but didn't take all of them, ones that they ordered. And so we have a couple of those in stocks in the super cab configuration. So
if you haven't, go check out my podcast.
Yes,
Catherine's
podcast went
interview
live
was very informative
last Thursday. So that was a fun video, and more podcasts, right? Watch the video, listen to the
More
podcast.
people are watching the video.
Yeah, I still don't think your numbers are right, because I listen to the podcast and you have one listen. I got a feeling more than one person listened to the podcast. So I don't know if Spotify's numbers are correct. I think that's downloads. That's my thing. And I think most people just stream it. Like I just streamed
I think I need to post it elsewhere.
Yeah, don't forget to cast it on your socials.
I do.
Oh, speaking of that, not only that, but we've been pulling out. Last week we pulled out 5 clips from this live stream from last week and made them shorts on YouTube, as well as I've been putting them on my own social media as reels on Instagram and Facebook. So yeah, if you're following us there, you'll see those as well. And those are kind of cool because they're short little clips of something. I think a lot of times we have a lot of cool things that we talk about here, and it's things that I don't even think that we're going to talk about. But because you guys asked those awesome questions, then they come up, and then they can grease some, especially when I answer those in like 2-3 minutes. So I got to kind of keep the words down.
Yeah.
But those become very good shorts. So you might see those show up throughout the week. So
yeah,
those will be. Yeah, we've been able to have some time to do that. Jeff's been helping me out with that. So it's a great production team we got around here. So
yeah.
Anyway, all right. I don't know. I think that's it. Other than all the information we're going to go talk about here in just a little bit. So, all right. We'll talk about members.
Yeah. If you'd like to become a member, it is right there beside the subscribe button. Once you open it, you'll see all the little perks that you get. If you're an iPhone user, you have to do things differently. You have to go up to the little A and big A in your web browser, request desktop browser, and at that point, you should be able to see it.
Yep. And then all of our YouTube content for our members will be right there to the membership tab. Or if you have your notifications set up, you'll get notified of those videos as well and different posts and that kind of stuff too. And you'll get them via email too. So,
yes.
And a lot of times what I try to do is post a video early to members. Sometimes my videos I don't have ready until like 15 minutes or 5 minutes before I wanted to go live, but members will get them at least, as soon as I have it ready, they'll get it then, and everybody else will get it at the scheduled time. So it's kind of cool to be first. You guys can get comment first and that kind of stuff. And of course, the live stream that we do every Friday, except for this week. We're not going to do one this week.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe at Ford's Garage in Orlando, we'll do a live stream or something.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe. And then also on Thursday, we do a lot walk. So that will still happen this week. So there you go. So there's that. All right. So, and you get shout outs in our live streams. So,
yeah. Here we go. First off, we have Mike in with a super chat. Good evening. We've had 3 days of 70-degree weather, no rain. Played golf for first time in 25 on Monday.
Cool. I'm not much of a golfer.
I miss golfing.
When I golf, I use all my, just kind of like my dad said when he's like driving, I'm like, you're off the side of the road. He goes, well, I paid for that part too. Kind of the way it is with golf. I'm like, I get a really good deal because when I pay for golf, I use a lot of the course.
I competed in high school. I miss it. I'm waiting for my boys to get to the age where they can go out there with me. All right, we got Ford Enthusiast. Evening all. Here we go. I have a friend who keeps on trying to get me to buy a Subaru Outback Wilderness as it's a good off-roader and has more room and capability than the Bronco Sport. We'll just go Bronco.
I don't know if it's more capable than a Bronco Sport, but Subarus are really good vehicles too.
Yeah. We have Brian Foster. I will be leaving the office and driving to coach the soccer team. Thus, I won't be in the chat much this evening, preparing for rain in Southern California. That's good.
They need to rain, right?
Yes. We have Niles. Howdy. Has anyone been rowdy? We've missed you. Francis. Hello, all. Alan. Niles, thought that was your duty.
Yeah.
We have Jack. Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. And Rob, also happy Tuesday. We have Ronald. Good evening to everyone on the live chat. Alan, evening all. Douglas, the state of Virginia is in the house. I wasn't shouted out last week. I'm sorry. I try and grab everyone.
He was on All Train Nation last night. I dipped in. I was in there. I was kind of listening with one ear and talking to the wife with the other ear. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know.
We have Bucko. Good evening, everyone. Ronald. Good evening to Ridgeview and Niles. Francis. Looking forward to Saturday. Ghost Stang. Good evening. Chris. Howdy, everyone. Hope you're all well. Ragnarcon. 'Twas my birthday this weekend. Sick
Ooh.
birthday. Woohoo. 2 excuses not to do anything.
Oh. It's
I had
not
a
good to
run.
be sick, though, on your birthday.
I had a run where I was sick for like 3 years in a row on my birthday. Mid Coast, Maine. Hello, all from Maine Coast, where 19 feels like 10. Yep. Rob led a ride with Arkansas Broncos over the weekend.
Oh, awesome.
We have Gino. Hi, all. We look forward to seeing many of you in Hamlin on the 8th.
Looking forward to seeing Gino,
Yep.
everybody else, all those down there.
Patricia got my new 25 XLT all-wheel drive hybrid.
Mm-hmm. She did let me know that. She emailed me. I have a picture of that. But.
Mike has been a member for 9 months. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Niall says that you have a Monster, and Ridgeview says that I have Mountain Dew Red.
Monster. Okay. Did he say Monster?
Monster coffee.
That's what I got.
He
Monster
probably
coffee.
saw Did you have the can earlier?
No.
He
Good
knows
guess.
He didn't leave.
Good guess. There you go. I was gonna go with Mountain Dew, but
Yeah.
I was in a Monster coffee mood tonight. Any others?
I got Red Bull.
Red Bull. Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
The can's actually orange, so I don't know why it's red.
Anyway, all right. Let's see what else we got going on. That all of our members? I won't forget anybody.
I think that's everyone. I mean, there were like 20 chats after I got done with that.
Ours gets to moving pretty good.
Yes.
So got a very active.
I want to shout this one out. Positive 1471. I just want to hop on to say stay positive, everyone.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, stay positive. All right. We got a good dealer moment. While you're finding that, don't forget about some of the channels that we like to watch, follow. I think Johnny's Car Can Review. Follow him. And I think, if I'm mistaken, he will be there this weekend.
Yes.
True? Okay. All right.
Last I checked.
Okay. Wasn't sure on that. I mean, I know I probably won't talk much about the tariffs tonight, but unless somebody asks a question about it. But I did see when they said they were going to do the tariffs that the Prime Minister of Canada said for people in Canada not travel to the U.S. So I didn't know if he was coming or not, but I know that they figured that out. So anyway, no tariffs right now. So at least for 30 days. So hopefully not at all. Hopefully that gets all figured out in the next 30 days and we don't have any.
All right. I have my good dealer moment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is Ed Hahn, the salesman at Basil Ford. And wait, did I do this one last week? Ed Hahn?
I don't know.
I feel like I did. West New York? I feel like I've already done this one. Anyways, let's keep going. Basil Ford in West New York has been great to work with. Just waiting for the truck to show up from being built, getting a 25 Maverick. So Ed Hahn was a sales associate. He was recommended by a gentleman they had worked with for years, and he moved up in the dealership. So
I don't think he did that one.
No. Okay.
All right.
So Ed Hahn at Basil Ford in West New York.
Okay. All right, we're going to get into scheduling information and such. So now I do these videos separately now before. So at 6:25 I had to go live because, like I said, it was a little long because once a month Ford comes out with, here's the information we have for scheduling information for next month, because then they give us our allocation numbers, and that allows us to clue us in whether or not we want to take all of our allocations or not, and that kind of stuff. And so that happens. So that whenever that happens, when the scheduling notes video is usually like double long because I got to cover that as well. But this week is the last week. I know it is February, and I always have to remind people this, but that first week is usually still allocations from January being used for those production dates in March, because there is still carryover. So usually, like close out the month and everything, and then they go over scheduling information. Then we do over our wholesale, figure out what we want to take, and that usually takes a week to get that done. Like we have till, I think we have the 7th as our deadline to get all of our allocations in and secured, and then scheduling will happen next week for the February stuff. So this week here, there's not a lot of ordering, a lot of scheduling going on, because a lot of the plants already have their month of March scheduled out for production. So like the models that didn't schedule that's not scheduled this week, I should say, this Thursday, is Mustang, Escape, Mach-e is not scheduling, and then several, I guess that's just the only ones. But a lot of the models are scheduling, but they call it cleanup scheduling. So a dealer would need an allocation. And like for most of our models, we don't have any left. We don't have to fulfill any. But some of them, there's dealers that might have an allocation that didn't get used for some reason, because maybe they didn't put a stock order that would fulfill and fit what they were looking for. So you do have a lot of cleanup scheduling happening for the Bronco Sport, the Bronco, the Explorer, Expedition, Maverick, Ranger, Super Duty, F-150, and Transit. So there is some of that I went through in a video. So a lot of that. And again, I like to tell people, that's why this week I actually said stop before you, because I think what happens, a lot of people go into that scheduling video and they all automatically click that timestamp to go to their model, and they don't listen to some of the stuff. And so I'm like, hold on, before you go, please go over this part, because one of the biggest things is, like this week, they might be going, well, why isn't mine scheduled this week? Well, does your dealership still have allocations for this month? And again, this isn't February's allocations we're using January still. So that's a big kicker, is they have to have an allocation, right? So so that needs to happen. And so that's a big kicker right there, is they need an allocation. So so a lot of our models, we don't have any allocations left. Most of it's been scheduled out. And then after that, the last half of the video, I went over what is going on for the forecast for the next month, which is going to happen next week. And that is for April production dates. And I kind of went over some of that information in there, and even went over the capacity numbers, which I thought was kind of fun, because actually they gave us that information. Hopefully they do that each week. But there was some pretty cool information in there about that, of what the breakdown is of what they're planning to build. Their capacity, what's their planned production rate for each of the different trim levels or configurations and motors, sometimes that kind of stuff. So anyway, so hopefully you got a chance to watch that. And any of this you need to go over, we can. But otherwise, if you have any questions, let's just jump into questions about that. Got any?
Not really. Well, let's see. Can you order the Lightning Pro, or is that only for fleet customers?
We can order a Lightning. Well, I thought it was supposed to be only for fleet, but I noticed that, and actually we're going to get into, because Lightning is one of the ones that they're scheduling for now, and we haven't been able to before. But I noticed that we can put in a stock or a retail order for a Pro, but not the extended range. So it looks like we can put an order in for a Pro. At one time they told us it was going to be fleet only, but it does look like we're able to put that in. So I think they can.
Okay.
But here's a crazy thing. So I did mention in the video earlier that went live that F-150 Lightning is scheduling this month. First time scheduling in a long time, because before you just got those through the RRC, the retail replenishment centers. But I think so many dealers didn't know how to do that, so now they're scheduling lightnings, and this is for April production. But here's the kicker with that: just like I told you a couple weeks ago, we can't place an order. So I'm like, well, maybe we'll be able to. So I tried today, still can't place an order for a lightning unless it's a pro version. Can't put one in for an XLT, a flash, a lariat, platinum, none of them. But yet we're getting like 4 allocations. I think we're taking 2 of those 4. We're turning 2 down. And it's like, we asked them, we're like, so when are we going to be able to order lightnings? Well, you should be able to place those, and you might not be able to do it unless you don't have any out. We do have allocations, so why can't we place the orders? So there's a lot of confusion, I think, in that. I think what's going to happen, and I don't know, again, I'm just guessing here, okay, just pure speculation, is I think Ford's going to pump in those stock orders like they normally do to us. They put in their orders, and we won't have a way to change that, because here's the kicker: when Ford puts in that order for us as stock, we can't change it, and except for some package changes. Now, if they probably more than likely they're going to put in a flash or an XLT version, so we can sometimes change from flash to XLT because those are within the same body code. It's just a different PEP code. So sometimes we can make that change, but otherwise we can't. So we really don't. Now, as a dealers, we want to put in our own stock orders because we know what sells for us based on what we've had in here. And we know for us, people want the flash edition, and that's what we want. So hopefully Ford puts in a bunch of flash editions for us. But at this point, we can't place our own order. So if somebody comes in and says, I want to order a lightning, we can't do it. So that's a big kicker. So anyway.
All right. Should I change my 25 Bronco order due to recall of shocks? Ordered a 2-door Badland manual Sasquatch Haas 2.0.
Okay, the recall has nothing to do with 25 model year. So you're good. I mean, leave your 25 order in there. So the recall is, so here's how recalls work. This will be a good short to pull up. So here's how recalls work. And that is, once they initiate and find the recall issue, the problem, they stop like production of some of this stuff. And that's how I think some people thought that their orders were being pushed back. We're going to talk about later on Bronco. But once they figure what that is, then they don't continue. They know what the fix is. They'll make that change at the plant level and then initiate the recalls for parts to complete everybody else's afterwards. And so right now, if you look at the recall on the shock, it does not mention 25 model year. It mentions 24 model year. I don't know what year ranges it is. I think it's 22 to 24. But it is the Haas 2.0 suspension, but it's on previous model year. It's not on 25 model year. So I don't think you have to be concerned about that. They just started production just like last week, I think, or the week before. I don't know. But we have a couple that have been built, and I can tell you this, all of our Sasquatches, a lot of them are scheduled and they're not getting pushed back. We'll talk about what is getting pushed back and being delayed later. So probably that's why that question came up. But last week, that's what I was thinking.
Nikki says, been waiting for my Bronco for far too long. Sounds like I might not have much. Oh, I thought that was a question.
Well, this week, like I said, like for us, a dealer might get allocations at the beginning of the month. Like next week, we have allocations for Bronco, but most of those will get scheduled in the next 2 weeks, and then we will run out of allocations. More than likely, your dealer doesn't have any Bronco allocations. I mean, most dealers don't have any right now. And even though Bronco's scheduling, it's because they're scheduling because they have open availability for certain configurations for those March dates still. But most dealerships don't have any allocations to use. And so more than likely you won't get scheduled this week, but next week, I would say you have a great chance of getting scheduled. So that's the thing. There's only, I think I mentioned, what is there? There's only 800 unscheduled retail orders for the Bronco. And I say only because that is not that many. I know 800 might sound like a lot to a lot of people, but that is not that many. They can make like what? They made a couple thousand Broncos, they said last month, which I don't know how that happened. But they produced like 2,000 in like a week last week, right? Because I think the numbers came out that for January they made like 2,000 Broncos, but sold like 9,000. So that would be like 1 to 2 weeks worth of production, and some of those might have been pre-production vehicles or something, or media vehicles, or off-road Bronco off-rodeo vehicles. But 800, they can make that 800 in like half of a week. That's easy, right? So I would be surprised. And I would say of those, there's quite a few that are strop Broncos and some of the ones that are a certain percentage. So just stick in there with the Bronco. You got to remember too, they've been scheduling, but they didn't really start production until last week. So, and they're going to be scheduling for April production dates. So the biggest key is, and I like to tell people this, is it all comes down to whether your dealership has an allocation and how many orders they have. A perfect example of this, we have 22 Ranger Raptor orders. We had 0 Ranger Raptor allocations last month. So we couldn't schedule any of those 22 last month. We're asking for as many as we can get for this month, right? And so that we can get some of those scheduled, but not all 22 will probably get scheduled this month coming up. So that's a great example of how your dealer could have like virtually no allocations for a certain model, because it's totally based on their sales volume, not on their order volume. So I could go out, and that's how we have all those Ranger Raptor orders. I went out and put a video out there and said, we're doing invoice pricing on Ranger Raptor. Well, those orders just flooded in. Well, the problem is, we were told we were going to get a lot more allocations than we have been, and they just started production. So that's probably part of it. But if the dealer doesn't have an allocation, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to get scheduled. So that's the conversation you want to have, is how many allocations do you have? Because they should know their numbers now. This week is the week they're going to know their numbers for the start of next week for April production dates. So now you can have those conversations, or at least sometime at the end of this week. Hey, how many allocations do you have for Bronco? And how many unscheduled orders do you have? Like, we have 4 unscheduled retail orders for Bronco, and we're getting enough allocations to fulfill all 4 of those. Now the question is whether it be 2 of those are strop Broncos, if we're going to get a strop Bronco scheduled. So.
Yeah. BM Smothers says, rumor has it plant is going to be down first 2 weeks of March.
Yes, I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, that was part of my scheduling.
He's our buddy in the factory.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So we knew about that, and that's why I think it's really funny that I think this week that they actually said they were scheduling for the week of March 10th through the week of March 24th, but I could have swore that the week of the 3rd and the 10th they were down, which I thought was kind of funny. So anyway, so yeah, but hey, thanks for letting us know that. But yeah, they had let us know, and like I said, some of the times I don't cover this every week, but I knew from the beginning that they weren't scheduling for Rangers, which is I think another reason why we didn't get any allocations for Ranger Raptor last month, was because I knew they were going to be down for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I apologize for my ignorance, which we all have to start somewhere with our knowledge. So people go, this might be a stupid question. No question's a stupid question. But do dealerships know in advance how many allocations of a particular model they will get for the entirety of the year?
No, because it's a month-to-month situation. And that is a great question, not a stupid question. And because it used to be, and I'll say this, during COVID and everything, we actually were told what our number was for the entire year.
And then we didn't follow through.
We didn't know what that breakdown was going to be for each month. But then it went back to the traditional way of doing it on a month-to-month. So basically you earn it on a 12-month revolving pattern. So like we were just talking about F-150 earlier today with our Ford rep. So like F-150 is one of those where we're averaging 40 F-150 sales a month. So the number they gave us was 36, very close. So part of what happens is they look and see what your sales volume is. They figure what that is to keep you. They know that, hey, you're going to sell 40. If your average is 40, you're going to sell 40. And then they look and see how many do you have, and they want you to make sure you have about a 3-month supply. So when they're scheduling for April, they know come April, if based on what you have now, if you sell 40 a month and you have 130, right? And so for the next couple months, by the time April comes around, how many are you going to have in stock when those come? And that decides to them how many allocations are going to give you. So it is based, that's why it has to be done on a month-to-month basis, because like this month, 1 month, we could just kill it on a certain model, but the next month we can tank it, and that changes. So it can change on a monthly like that. This was the second month in a row that we did get 26 allocations for Maverick. We turned down 20. We did 6 allocations. We said we don't, because we earn the allocations, but we don't have to take them all. And we can request for more. So that's what we do. So on Maverick, we were given 26 allocations this month, but we have 82 2024s out there that we feel like the recall is going to come due this month. And we're going to be sitting on 86 plus the other 25s that we have that people haven't taken.
Yeah.
So we're going to have this big chunk of Mavericks, in which if you have too much can hurt you and getting allocations in future months. So we don't want that to happen either. So even though we're selling about 26 a month, which is right.
Yeah.
We have those 82 24s that have to go. So that's why we didn't take 20 last month. And the reason we took 6 last month was we had 4 orders and unscheduled orders. So we wanted to have a couple cushion just in case we got more orders in. So this month we looked and we have a couple orders in there again. So we did 6 again. But we hopefully that recall comes out soon. So each model is different. Maverick, we earned 26. F-150 earned 36, I think. Like Super Duty, we earned 47. And we figured out though where we're going to be sales wise, and we don't have a lot of Super Duties coming in the next month. So because of that, we actually are taking like that plus a couple more Super Duty allocations if they give them to us. So we request them as called supplements, but they may not grant them. And in most cases, they don't. But if there's a dealer out there like us, where we were given 26 allocations, because basically they divide the allocations within the state. So we earn 26, but if we only take 6, and that means there's 20 available for other dealers. So if other dealers requested supplements on Maverick, then they could be granted some of them because we didn't take all of ours. So there are dealers that'll do that.
Yeah.
We actually took Bronco Raptor allocations. We got 2. And I can't tell you why that we wanted to take those 2, but because I don't think I'm supposed to say yet. So I will hold that for a future, probably in about a month. I can probably talk about it. But
all right. If your order was confirmed, does that mean our dealer has allocations?
Nope, not necessarily. So like I said earlier, allocation is based on sales history and how many you sell on your reporting, but not based on how many orders are put in there for your dealer.
Yeah.
Because we sell a lot of stock. Like Super Duty is a great one. Well, we don't take as many orders, but we still sell them. F-150.
Yeah.
Think about how much F-150, we don't take hardly any retail orders, but we sell 40 a month. Well, you know why? Because we have these builds, these custom builds that we do. We sell about 10 to 12 lightning bolts a month.
Yeah.
That's why we keep getting regular cab F-150s, is because we keep turning the F-150 configuration.
Yep. If you decline some allocations, how long can you hold them before you lose the allocations completely? So as soon as we decline them, we lose them.
Yes. So what happens at the end of the week is that we say, okay, we don't want those 20. So then basically those 20 allocations are given to somebody else within our state, another dealer in the state.
Which
that requested for
which they may not have as many truck sales, so they may decline F-150s, or some are declining Ranger Raptor or other things like that, and they get offered to us.
That's how we got last year for 24 model year, we got Ranger Raptors, because that first year we were supposed to get 3 all year. The entire year we were supposed to get 3. We ended up with like 12 because there were dealerships that were sitting on them because they weren't selling, because they were marked them up. And so then they were like, well, we don't need any more. We can't even sell the ones that we have. And so then that's how we got them. And so they said that'll probably continue to happen for us, and the production they thought for 25 would go up as well. So that's why we took those. We put that deal out there at MSRP or at invoice. So that's kind of how that works. So
Yep.
So it can shift and change. It's constantly shifting. Like this month, we earned 2 F-150 Raptor allocations, 1 R and 1 regular. Well, the month before it was 8.
Yeah.
So
Is the black appearance a constraint in Sasquatch and non-Sasquatch? I ordered a non-Outer Banks black appearance, but still no scheduling.
Okay, so again, scheduling is a week-to-week basis. So for this week, because I probably scheduled most of March already, then I think the black appearance package is a constraint for this week because they probably already scheduled most of the black appearance packages. So they probably have a lot of people wanting to order that, and that's why they probably have. That's where if your capacity is a certain level, let's say your capacity is here, right? It's right there, but your orders is here. You're not going to be able to fulfill them all right away, right? So that's where there's your constraint. So when your orders are more than your capacity, then you'll see that. And especially right now this month. So I would say this week you probably more than likely won't get scheduled because they said in here it's a very limited exhaust availability. But next week when they refresh it again, they know how many they can do. I think actually the breakdown in here for Bronco. There we go. So black appearance package on the Bronco is 20% of their production. So 20% of the Broncos they build in a month will be black appearance package, or it can be black appearance package, right? So, and I don't know what that number is and what they can make. Let's say it's 5,000. What's 80% of that? It'd be 1,000. So they could make 1,000. Well, they don't even have 1,000 orders unscheduled. So I don't see why, if you have a black appearance package, as long as your dealer has an allocation, that's the key. That's still the kicker, is that you should get scheduled next week, I would think. So that's my hope, and I'll cross my fingers for you.
All right. Onwards.
Outer Bank black appearance package would look really good.
It's been 32 days and still only have order confirmed, no production date yet.
Was that for what model? I don't know.
Didn't say. So, Chris, your dealer will need to have allocations to be able to schedule your order. So I would call your dealer and ask them how many allocations they have, and if they can give you a guesstimate of when they might see yours get scheduled.
So I think by Friday is when we'll know our actual official numbers for this next month coming up, which will start next week. So most dealerships may not find out until Friday for sure. Like we put in supplements, so we don't really know what our final number is going to be until they've done that with every dealer and they've been locked into place. So, so more than likely it may not happen. They may not be able to tell you the actual number. They can try to tell you what they've earned, and at that point they don't have to take them all. But yeah. In fact, at our dealership, there's only like 3 people that know that number right now. I mean, and we'll pass it on to our sales team as well, so there'll be an idea of what we asked for, but we won't know the final numbers until they just pop into the system next Monday.
David, the stop sale with Maverick is due to a recall on the backup camera. That is a federally regulated necessity safety feature that they require. And so if the backup camera does not work, Ford is not allowed to deliver it to the customer. So while it can be sold, the dealer can sell it to you, you cannot take delivery of it.
Yeah. So there are some dealers that are leaving them on their website. They're selling them and not telling the customer. Once they complete the deal, they're like, but you can't take delivery. And so then they can't. So we just decided not to put them on our website because we don't want to sell a car that we can't let the customer take.
Yeah.
So if it's on our website, it's available to take for delivery today. And so that's just our philosophy. That's the way we do things.
Yep. All right. Let's see. I have more. Can you sell a used Maverick with a backup camera recall?
Yes, we can. Go figure, right?
All right. And then I saw another one. I have a Bronco 25 OBX order not scheduled. Is it worth settling for a 24 Badlands? Was hoping to get a new Bronco by spring, but it's looking unlikely.
Yeah, because like right now, if you're not scheduled for a 25 yet, we're looking at April production dates. So you're talking May. So,
You might want to go with 24.
and the thing of it is there is, I don't think you're settling for a 24, because I mean, 25 does have a couple different nice things this year. But there's nothing wrong with the 24, and most everything is the same from 24 to 25 with the vents in the back. And I don't know, there's something else. I mean, there's not a lot of things that you're getting on an Outer Banks 25 versus a 24.
Yeah.
And Badlands is actually, in a way of capabilities, is better than an Outer Banks if you look at it that way. But definitely, plus, one thing you'll see too is rebates on 24 are just crazy right now. So there's, I think Badlands has $3,000 rebate right now.
Yeah.
And I think they're getting more. I think they might be more than that now. It might even be $5,000 right now. So for me, I'd probably look at a 24. I'm actually thinking about getting a 24 Expedition instead of waiting for my 25. I mean, we have them $10,000 off right now. There's $9,000 in rebates on an Expedition right now.
Well,
24.
And I mean, if you like the dash better than the 25.
Oh, I like the 25 better.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
but does mom? Does mom like the 25 better?
I just know what my pocketbook likes better. Remember, 25 has no rebates.
I know.
At all. And the prices are way, yeah. Anyway, I won't get into that.
Go ahead and get a 24. Just
I don't know.
Do it.
We'll see.
Will it be in the color you want? I don't know.
Probably not.
Are we getting the new 2025 Mavericks? We are getting them in. We currently only have a few on our lot due to the fact that most of our early 25s are retail.
Yeah.
Retail orders. So they were custom ordered by people. So what you see in our lot are most likely backed out orders. I think we have a few stock out there, but that's why you won't see a lot on lots right now, because people have custom ordered their vehicles, and that's where most of the allocations have been going to.
Yep.
Oh, they are out there.
By the way, the customer that was talking about a Bronco, don't forget, when you get a Bronco from us, we also pay for your travel expenses to Bronco Off-Rodeo.
Yes.
Anyway, all right.
How do you want to go over the question you just started?
Oh, I just started, just in case you didn't want to cover.
Okay.
Do we have any others? Yeah, 25 Mavericks have been showing up.
I suffer from analysis paralysis. Please, someone help me stop the madness. 2020 Bronco, Badlands, or Ranger Raptor? Bronco.
Depends. You need the bed?
I don't like the Ranger and the sounds it makes, so Bronco.
Oh.
It's my opinion, though. It truly is.
Depends if you want the North American Truck of the Year or not.
Or do you want to be part of the amazing Bronco community full of wonderful people who will be there for you through it all? So many things.
We gotta probably have a Bronco crew in tonight because of the topic.
Here we go. Douglas Blair, All Train Nation, bought a Ranger, then sold it to get a Bronco. Clearly, the answer is clear. All right.
Anything else? Move away from scheduling information.
I think we're good.
Oh, we didn't open.
You didn't. Radcon clears something clear. Clears my cup. Right. It's spotty.
We'll have to come back to open these up later. Open those up later. All right. Okay, we'll move into dealer news. Done a lot of news, but again, with the information on wholesale and such, sometimes there's also some product information, so we'll cover that as well.
We got a lot tonight
in this. But the only kind of things that came out was Ford did an update to the Ford security package, showing now eligible on F-150 and Super Duty vehicles. So anyway, it says the Ford security package will be offered on all 24 model year and 25 model year F-150s, excluding Lightning, and 25 model year Super Duties beginning December 4th of 24. So we knew that last December. We talked about that. The Super Duties will be retroactive, receive Ford security package via an over-the-air update coming later in 2025. Please note that some features of this Ford security package may not be available immediately for all customers and may require an over-the-air update. Ford security package is listed on the window sticker and order guide. For more information, to visit them. So it's going to include your theft alerts, stolen vehicle services, and start inhibit. So you'll get that also deductible relief as well. So your insurance should help as well, reimbursement and such like that. So there you go. And then also there was a lot of people this kind of flew under the radar. So Mustang Mach-E order banks opened in like pack in October, I believe, and with that came lower prices. For then, and then they didn't put it on the website until just like a couple weeks ago, and then actually about a week ago. When they did that, they actually did a price increase right before they put the website went live, so it looked like the prices were down when technically they went up just a little bit, $250. But there was, for those of you that had put in a 25 model year order at the beginning, you might see a price increase on your window stickers, but dealers should be price protecting to that because the price did go up from the previous 25 model year to the current one, $250 for the premium all-wheel drive extended range, premium extended range rear-wheel drive, select all-wheel drive extended range, and the sport appearance package went up $500. So those are the different price increases. But a lot of people didn't see that price increase because, like I said, Ford didn't have it live on their website until after they did the increase from what it was at the beginning. If that makes sense. Anyway, there's that. All right. And then there's some information, like I said, lightning scheduling for April production dates to arrive probably at dealerships in May. With that, their planned production rate is 20% XLT, 55% Flash, 19% Lariat, and 6% Platinum. Platinum does have an available Dark Elements package for $1,000. That gets you black wheels. Basically, it gets you what that package was last year, that matte wrap package or whatever they called it, minus the wrap. So you get the wheels available in all colors. I think before it was only available in black. Dark vinyl refractive bedside badging on it. You got the exterior badging that's black, the black ovals, the matte black painted wheels, and the black premium Nirvana leather seats. So actually, they have some pictures here. It looks pretty cool. All right. And then also, yes, so we don't need to cover that because that's on Lightning. We've already covered it before. Also, they covered some changes to e-Transit. They're trying to get us to take an e-Transit today. It's like we have 3 e-Transits allocations that we need to give the dealer, and we're like, we don't want it. No, thanks. We're like, well, one of the things they didn't think about, but all the e-Transits are in cargo vans. We're like, why don't you make an e-Transit passenger van? I mean, think about it. It'd be great shuttle vehicles. Like we'd have an e-Transit passenger van if they had one. But I think they have increased to 89 kilowatt battery now. So the extended, so it's longer battery. So depends on where. Now they give you a range in here. You got to understand that's empty. So these cargo vans are going to be full of stuff, and some of them heavier loads than others, right? That does affect that, but they don't really kind of talk about that in there. But MSRP price, though, does come lower than most the competition. So the ProMaster EV is like $78,000, whereas the e-Transit's $51,000, and even the e-Sprinter van is $61,000, which is 10 grand more than Ford's. So, but anyway, so there's that. Big rebates on Ranger Raptor. So if you can find a 24 Ranger, did I just say Ranger Raptor? I meant Bronco. So if you can find a 2024 model year Bronco Raptor out of the dealer lots, there is some major incentives, and not all of them the dealer will tell you about, because some of that is actually if they hit their mark, they get it. So there's $2,000 Jeep Conquest that can come off. There's $3,000 rebate that launched in January. And also, there's $6,000 in built for growth. Now they have to hit a dealer has to hit their number for sales on Bronco to get that 6,000. That's kind of the kicker. So dealer may not use that, but there should be some really good deals out there on Bronco Raptors. So yes, so there's that. They kind of mentioned that out there. And then also they're trying to produce more 2.7 liter EcoBoost motors for the F-150. And they also kind of talked about now the on the F-150, the Platinum Plus package can now be ordered. So that was going to be a job 2. And so that's been updated for that. And with that Platinum Plus, there's the Platinum Plus experience. So if you watched our videos, and we've covered it on our live stream here, there's some cool benefits out of the Platinum Plus experience that you get. When you get that package, like a 2-year premium maintenance plan, you get elite welcome call, you get a welcome package. I don't know what's in it. You also get 25% off accessories that you get. You have 90 days to use that though. You also get upgraded automatically to the blue tier for Ford Pass Rewards, which I'm a blue tiers member. Ford Ambassador, that's always available. So some pretty cool stuff there. Extended trials on integrated services like SiriusXM, Ford Premium connectivity and stuff like that. So anyway, and then let's see what else. There's some also on Super Duty. So they doubled the F450 production for April. So it went from 2% to 5% beginning in April. So much they're going to increase that production. They're also trying to increase the production of the spray and bed liner, but I would keep that off your order for now. And also, the fifth wheel prep package is still a major constraint for April. So there you go. There's that. Job 3 for Explorer. We talked about that last week. That now it's the tire and inflator kit instead of the spare tire. That's a change. So because of that, all the prices are lower by about $150 to $200. And they also remove the HVAC controls on the back of it on your Active. But you get that with the Active Comfort package now. Other than that, I think that's all the changes for job 3 on that. And then if you're looking for an EcoBoost Mustang, some major discount packages that came out. So if you want an EcoBoost 100 or 101A, 200, 201A with the 19-inch by 8.5-inch premium polished aluminum wheel, they're doing a $920 discount package on that. Or if you want it with the bronze appearance package and the active exhaust on a 201A EcoBoost, it's an $820 discount package. So they're trying to push EcoBoosts. We just don't sell them well. But all right, that's that. Any questions on dealer news or any other questions popped up while we talked about that?
Well, we have a couple of questions that popped up.
Go for it.
After I have a scheduled build date, how long after that should I expect my Bronco to arrive at the dealership in New York?
So you have a scheduled build date. Let's get it built. And then once it's built, then we can kind of start planning in that, because sometimes that gets delayed. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Some Broncos got delayed. So getting a scheduled build date is one thing, but then sometimes those dates can move around. But once you get your vehicle's been built, you'll get that email, figure about 4 weeks after it's been built and after it's been shipped out to come to you. Now, it does depend on where you're at. You're in New York. So you're probably like us. You usually do get it in about 4 weeks.
Yeah. All right. Ford did a remote update a couple months ago, and my Rolling Rocks video that turns into a Bronco disappeared. How can I get my original startup video back?
Well, you might have to do a hard reset. So if you go into your system, your sync system, and do a reset and reset everything, but that might fix it.
Yeah.
Try that. Let me know. Or don't try that and still let me know you didn't want to do it. But yeah, if you reset it, might fix that. Might bring that back.
Yep.
That's disappointing. That's kind of cool feature.
I have a 450 Platinum on order, originally ordered last May, then reordered January 7th as a 25 with an 03 priority. My dealer says they have allocations.
Okay, have an allocations. No, so way Super Duty works is those allocations are for all Super Duties: 250s, 350s, 450s, cabin chassis versus regular cab or regular, cabin bed. So it's for all of them. Now, just like we mentioned just a second ago, the production for in March, February, and March was 2.5% for F450s.
Mhm.
So that means that 2 to 3 out of 100 Super Duties built is going to be one platinum. So that's no, two. So you'd be two platinums for every 100. Sorry, 2 to 3. Now that's going to go to 5% in April. So hopefully you get scheduled in April. So as long as your dealer's getting those allocations, then you should be good to go there. But that's one of the kickers is your platinum. The other is F450. But with the production doubling, that hopefully will help. So now 5 out of every 100 in April will be will be an F450.
Okay. Between Bronco Sport Badlands debating. Oh, we went over that one. Okay. Did I hear right? Bronco Sport Badlands with SAS Pack delayed until April?
Nope. We'll talk about that. That's
All
not
right.
the delay, but we'll
come back around to it.
We'll get into that. So a lot of people think that is what's the delay. So some people are getting orders delayed, and we'll talk about whose orders are getting delayed.
All right. Will you do a video on the first 25 mach-e that arrives to provide feedback on the heat pump?
We can try. The thing is, by the time they show up, it may not be cold anymore. Really, that heat pump, you really kind of need to be cold to see how it affects versus like a 24, right?
Yeah. And then our cold doesn't really hit usually until later in the November, December, sometimes even January.
Yeah.
All right.
That it? Now, there were some order guide updates, but I haven't had a chance to look them over. There was on the 29th, they updated the Mustang order guide. And I mean, this is it, but I do think I figured out pretty much what they did. Basically, on the Copilot 360 Assist Plus package, they changed the wording from road edge detection to road departure warning, which pretty much is I kind of figured out that the road edge detection was basically the road departure warning. So that means you're coming off the edge of the road. So it's seeing not only just the line, but the edge of the road too. In some states, it's the same. But so they updated the wording to make it a little easier for people to understand, I think. So that was really the only thing they did on the Mustang. Plus, they also added that new color, intense lime yellow metallic, to that as well. And then they also added the matte clear film that's available in the convertible. So those are a couple different. That's an order job to change there. And then they also added the optional sinister bronze wheel on the GT performance package. So they added that as well to the order guide. So anyway, so that's that. But we did see that there were a bunch of order guides. I mean, a bunch of order guides that updated. Here's the pages. So all this stuff updated on the 3rd. So usually at the beginning of every month, if there's any errors on the order guides, they'll find those errors, but sometimes they don't update them until the beginning of the next month. So Bronco, Escape, Transit, Maverick, F-150, Bronco Sport, and Expedition had the order guides changed in some way. And for me to find it, usually I got to go through each page. Now, with that said, though, I think I figured out. Now, Bronco changed, and they changed the Raptor pages, optional pages. So they'll actually print off just what pages changed. They won't tell you what changed on it, but they'll print out the pages that were changed. And so on the Bronco, it was Bronco Raptor optional pages that were updated, but they didn't tell you what. And I noticed also with that they updated the Bronco top page. So I got a feeling it has something to do with the Raptor top. I don't know. And maybe the wording. So anyway, I'll have to look those over a little bit closer. On the Escape, some of them though you can actually tell what's changed because they'll actually put a at the bottom of the product changes. They'll tell you if there's been any ads. And on this one here, on the order guide changes on the Escape, they did put in here that they removed the note restricting military personnel sales for the predictive speed assist on ST Line Elite and Platinum. And those are the pages that were in here, were included. So I assume that's all that was changed on those. Now, Transit, there's a ton of pages changed on the Transit, and we don't have a lot of Transit customers in here. But it looked like in here it says they added the extended length running boards, which include both driver and passenger fixed running boards. They also added the updated wheel images, and they revised the miscellaneous text updates, it says. But I also noticed within this, like most of this is Transit, they also added like a lot of the like different packages and things like that, like things you can add to your Transit in the back or whatever. But like you can see that that's all Transit changes. So a lot of it's Transit. So I probably won't dive into that too much. And then on the F-150, they changed something on the trimmer page. But again, the trimmer optional equipment, but then I need to look and dive in to see what's changed on there. But none of the other pages were changed. And then on the Bronco Sport, the Outer Banks optional equipment, as well as the Badlands optional equipment pages. Oh, wait, no. The Badlands standard equipment page was changed, but not the optional equipment changes. So the question is, what on there changed? I'll get to the bottom of it for next week. We'll cover it next week. I won't forget. And then on Expedition, they made some changes to that one as well. See if they put it on the product. They did say in here, job 1 order guide update. They added heated to the trimmer leather wrap steering wheel description. And it says late availability is the dark car, interior lights deactivation, and the remote start on the active touring edition, King Ranch, and Platinum will be late availability. But I think those were already on there. So, but there's a lot more pages. So they added that the XL pages have been changed. And of course, the trimmer page will be changed. There's the active. There's the trimmer standard equipment. And I guess that's it. So maybe that was it. Now on the Maverick pages, again, it doesn't say what's been changed, but it looks like the Lobo standard equipment and the Lobo optional equipment pages were changed. Something on those were changed, but I don't know what. Like I said, I'll take a look at them and see what's changed on them, but there you go. There's that. We'll see what's changed on some of that stuff, and we'll talk about it next week. But any questions?
Not really.
We do have recalls, and then we'll get into our fun stuff.
Okay.
Okay, just 2 recalls. I think they're both an advance notice. Actually, one's an official recall. There was an advance notice. Okay, so this in here is an advance notice. That means that they know there's an issue, but they don't have parts available yet typically. So they give this information to the dealers, so the service department's going to know what's happening. So this is safety recall 25S05 for 2020 to 2022 Corsair, 2020 to 2022 F Super Duty, and 2021 Expeditions. This has to do with the rear view camera improper function. 72,400 vehicles are affected by this recall. And in some of the affected vehicles, customers may experience an intermittent rear view video image, no rear view video image, or poor image quality, blurry, foggy, hazy when the vehicle is in a reverse gear. A rear view camera that intermittently displays a poor image quality while in reverse can reduce or distort the driver's view of what is behind the vehicle, increasing the risk of a crash. Probably no different than if I have smuck on the back of mine. So anyway, does say in here that owners of record will be notified via first class mail within 60 days, which may occur before repair instructions and parts ordering information has been provided to dealers. So that's a possibility. All right, this next one is the actual official recall for safety recall 24S76. So the advance notice came out January 6th on this one. This is the official one, so that means they have the repair orders. And this has to do with 2023 to 2024 model year F-150 Lightnings. And there's 11,921 vehicles affected by this. And some of the affected vehicles, the nut on the ball joint, which secures the front control arm to the knuckle assembly, may be loose or missing. And this can result in separation of the front upper control arm from the front knuckle assembly. A separation of the front upper control arm from the knuckle assembly may result in loss of directional control, increasing the risk of a crash. So this in here, it does say owner letters are expected to be mailed out the week of February 10th, 2025, which is next week. So that fix, they do have that fix. So again, they advance notice on that. So they'll always have an advance notice first. Came out January 6th, and then they have the fix like a month later. That's pretty cool because not all vehicles you get to fix that fast. So okay, so that's the recalls. All right. Ready to move on?
Yes.
All right. So this actually has to do with the mach-e. I kind of actually alluded to this earlier, so I probably could have done a different, is it true? But on the 2025 model year Mustang Mach-E, the building price just went live last week. And so the question was, hey, order banks are now open. So Ford made a big deal. In fact, I noticed that on the Mach-E forum, that the Ford media account posted that the order banks have opened up. They said order banks are now open for the 25 model year and everything else. Go to Ford.com and you can build it out and all this and stuff. And I'm like, the order banks have been open for like 3 months. I said, why is this? I mean, I don't understand why this was such a thing that, oh, the order banks have been open. I'm like I posted a post last week. I'm like, oh, just to kind of celebrate the launch of Ford.com build and price for the Mustang Mach-E. Here's the videos I did back in October on what's standard and what's optional on all the different trim levels because the order banks opened in October.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they started production in January. So I don't know why they were making a big deal, but order banks have been open for a while. Not only that, but this month coming up, April, will be the balance out of job one. So not only that, but job 2 is starting in May. So I think that was kind of, I don't know, it's kind of funny, but I always like to, let you guys keep you guys in the know of everything. But that's why I always say follow us if you want to stay updated on things, because if you wanted a 2022 Mach-E, I mean, they've been built. Some of them were, I don't know if we had any built that was scheduled the first month of production, but they've been building the month of January for these Mach-E's. I think we have a bunch that are going to be built in February, and we'll see them in March. So, but if you order one now, you can get in for a April production date. So,
all right.
Anyway, so there's that. So onward to the fun, right?
Right.
Everybody's been asking about. So I was a little trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about this week. Almost was going to talk about the tariffs, and I'm like, I don't really want to, but that's in the news, so maybe we need to talk about it. I don't need to. They delayed the tariff on the Mexico and Canada for a month, so we don't need to talk about that because we'll only talk about the impact on what it'll do until we see the impact, right? So we don't have to talk about tariffs, but instead I thought this is really fun because this came up. Some people tagged me on Bronco 6G forum, and they were asking about that because they noticed their production date of their scheduled Bronco moved from the week of the 24th of February back 2 months. I mean, they moved them back to a month they haven't even scheduled orders yet, to April. And so a lot of people were trying to speculate on, they thought it had to do with the recall. because there's a recall on the shock for the Haas 2.0. Some people thought it was because of that recall. That's why they pushed it back. And some people were trying to figure out, well, here's my order and everything. But we came to the conclusion, because I looked through all of our orders, and there was one common theme on the orders for us that was moved back till April, and that was the manual transmission.
Okay.
So it seems like to me, and I did do my due diligence. I did contact, or I tried. I emailed the brand manager, the marketing director, and got nothing back, which tells me it's not something they want to be public, or else they would have responded. So I don't think they want this to be public, but it does look like, from what we're finding out on the different other customers that have been saying what their orders is, because I think what happened is the reason that some people thought it was the Sasquatch package or the Haas 2.0 is because some people had a manual Badlands. So they come with a Haas 2.0, and some people had a base Squatch. They had a base Sasquatch with a manual transmission. So I think a lot of people that had those, there was that common theme of, oh, I'm getting the Haas 2.0 suspension, so it must be because of that recall. But the recall doesn't affect the 25s. But we look back, one common thing that everybody did have that got moved back was the manual transmission. So that seems to be the delay, is the manual transmission. So not really a lot that can keep going and talking about this. It just does seem like it's moving back. The question is why? Because we had manual transmissions. The only clue is maybe they're enhancing it. Maybe they're making the manual transmission better this year.
True.
Or maybe they were having some issues with last year's manual transmissions that they didn't want to happen this year. Or something like that, or a supplier issue, which is also something that could happen too. So that does look like, so if you're somebody out there, you have a manual, and some people said, I have a manual transmission that hasn't been scheduled. Well, maybe a clue of why. So if you're out there, that could be another thing. I know somebody earlier said that I've had a Bronco order in there. Well, did you order a manual? Because that could be, because they did schedule some manual transmission, especially early on. But it looks like all those people got pushed back to not only into the beginning of April, all of ours, and you can tell me this if yours is the case, if you're in here, all of ours got put to the very last week of April. So not like the beginning of April, but the week of April 28th. So both of the two orders we had got moved to that week. So anyway, so throwing that out there, what do you guys think of that? Because see if anybody else has orders and they got pushed back. But that seems to be the kicker is that it has to do with the manual transmission. So there are orders being delayed and being moved back, and Ford doesn't want to talk about it. So makes me a little nervous. But I say that, but then I also say that I've also had some other questions about sent to the brand manager, and I haven't gotten any replies either. So
it could be a toss-up.
They know I'll talk about it. They're afraid to tell me anything. So, because we're anymore not really looked at as a dealer anymore, especially to the Bronco team. I think we're looked more as a media at this point. So they won't tell us anything that they don't want to get out. So anyway.
That's when you have Derek message.
Well, it is kind of fun. Like, I'm not gonna say anything because I want to still get the information, but there's somebody that squeaks some stuff, and I don't think they realize, because they are like asking me about. They said something about we have a couple strop orders that we're trying to get scheduled, right? Strop Bronco orders, and they're like, well, let me look and see what the production. I says it's 2%. It's like just rattled it right off. It's 2%. They're like, oh wow, you're like,
I live and breathe this information.
I'm like, it's because I just did the video like right before I went into the meeting. So I was like, I know it's 2%. So I know it's a small number.
Yeah. All right.
Any questions?
Not specifically on that.
I thought a lot that we had to like expand about, but it does. But just so you know, it doesn't have to do with the recall. Usually when you see an advance notice of a recall, that's always the thing is like, they won't tell you an end date, like on the recalls, like this recall here. it's an advance notice recall, right? And they have ending dates on this stuff. So they know the last day that they had issues with it. They found the issue and they at that point started producing the next ones correctly or with whatever the fix is. So like in this and here, they know when the end date was, right? And well, here's a case right here. The very ending of these lightnings they know was February 13th, 2024. Well, they know there's no issues on the 14th and after because they have an end date. So they know that fix, especially going in, you'll see that on the 25 Broncos, there's the new ones aren't going to have the issue with them on those. But if you want to feel better about it, just get the Haas 3.0 suspension because that is optional in the Badlands. So if you're looking at it now, you can't do that on the Sasquatch, but if you're looking at a Badlands, go ahead and add the Haas 3.0 suspension if you're concerned. Now Sasquatch you can't do that with, but when you get it here, I guess the concern is whether or not it gets scheduled, but it doesn't look like it has anything to do with the rear suspension. So
okay.
Yep.
Are we ready for Q&A?
Yep.
All right. All right. Does the estimated delivery mean much? I noticed on my phone it shows it, but on my laptop it does not appear, the Ford website tracker. So those estimated deliveries are pretty hit and miss. We update our members with the date or their estimated delivery date, and we always go with the furthest date out, and it's always subject to change because Ford is not technically in control of the shipping. Once it leaves the plant, it's in the hands of the shipping company. We've seen cars where the batteries died at the shipping yard, and therefore it sits there and sits there and sits there until they take initiative and jump it. We've seen them get left at the factory for a few weeks. There's so many things that can happen. So the estimated delivery can change very frequently and very easily.
What we found for a long time is once the vehicle is built, then it puts an ETA on it at that point. So in their mind, it's built. There's no reason why it should go right out. And so you should have it in 4 weeks. So a lot of times they'll put that estimated delivery date on there as soon as it's built. But it could take a week to 2 weeks before it actually ships out, but they won't update that necessarily. No. Right. And it used to be when we used VIN visibility that got that date and it was never updated until it expired. Once the estimated delivery date expired, then you'd see it updated all of a sudden the next day. Boy, it updated because when it passed that date and then would update it. And guess what? The date was a month later. And so, but they don't do that anymore with VinView now. It's actually a little more consistent. But the email you get won't be updated. So, but the dealer can't always see, they can always change. We noticed, like you said, with our member orders, we look at it each week and we would see that date fluidly move each week.
It's fun to watch.
And so we would see that and go, okay, well, it didn't actually go out when they thought it would and that kind of stuff. And so, but what your email will show is what basically 4 weeks from when it was actually built, that's the ETA it'll give you. And a lot of times until the next step happens, you won't get a new date, even though that probably isn't, it may not be able to happen. So got to take it with a grain of salt. So, and like Sarah said, it's Ford is at liberty of the shipping company. Once they release it from the factory, it's kind of like giving it to Amazon or giving it to the U.S. Postal Service, your mail. At that point, they could lose it, right? It could sit there.
Yeah.
You don't have control over it because now you're basically hoping that FedEx or UPS or whatever handles it correctly.
Yep.
But you don't have anything, especially during Christmas time.
Yes. All right. Buckshot says my strop order scheduled for March 25th.
That is awesome. It's good to see some strop Broncos being produced.
Send us pictures.
Well, it's not produced yet, but getting scheduled at least.
Yes.
Like I said, we only had 2 orders in there, and neither one have been scheduled yet.
Yeah.
One of them was my original order. We gave somebody else.
Good evening. Another probably good question here. Every week that we go over the constraints, is that in addition to last week's constraints, or if it's not mentioned this week, it's no longer a constraint?
Correct. So that is a week in, a week out. So when we go over the scheduling information for that week, it is for the orders that are being scheduled that Thursday. So it can sometimes we see those every week. Sometimes we only see them certain weeks. Like this week, we
Yeah.
see a lot of what we call constraints, but it's really because it's not necessarily a major constraint. It's really hard to explain, but yeah, evidently I don't explain it.
It has to do with the amount of parts that they get.
Right. So when their planned production on some of these, like we talked about that for the planned rate for a month on a certain vehicle. I had it here. Is the okay, like Maverick Hybrid, for instance, is this month for the whole month in general, they're going to build 51% are going to be hybrid, right? But let's say, you know, once that first week, they might schedule 45 of the 51% hybrids be scheduled out. So then the next week, their availability is 6% because they've already scheduled 45%. So they might say the hybrid is limited to exhaust availability. That's because they know that they can only take in so many more orders for that, if that makes sense. So that first week, it's usually pretty open. Whatever their capacity is on a monthly basis, then there's not going to be constraint on anything. But then once they schedule that, then they're going to be like, okay, now that we've scheduled 80% of the production, we have 20% to schedule. But here are, because of that, these things we've already pretty much scheduled completely out for the week. So that's why you'll see it like next week when we start doing scheduling, there probably won't be a lot of notes because unless there's an overabundance of orders for something, we won't see a constraint because they haven't even scheduled that week out yet. Now you'll see it on F-150 and Super Duty because they schedule multiple weeks. So they don't schedule like everything else. Everything else, they try to schedule the entire month. Hey, they know what the capacity is. They try to schedule the bulk of the orders for all the other models that 1 week, right? First, they do retail only next week. Then the week after will be a mixture. Well, they'll say a main commitment, which will be the retails if there are, or stocks then if they can't fulfill it with it. And then after that, then they're going to see that those constraints or the limited exhaust availability because they've already scheduled out most of their month. Hopefully that makes sense. If it didn't, let me know, and I'll see if I can figure out another way of explaining it. But it is kind of hard to understand sometimes. But that's why we see that constraint after the first week, and it is confusing because they don't schedule the very first week of a month, right? So when I say, hey, this is we got new allocations, well, why aren't they scheduling February's this month? And when I first started doing these videos several years ago, that was very confusing to me and going, I don't understand. It's the week of February 3rd. Why aren't we talking about February's allocations for those dates in April? Why are we still going off of January? I didn't understand it either, and had to, got that information from my general manager that clued me in that, hey, we haven't reset the allocations yet because we're still, usually those numbers come in and they finish out for the end of the month. And then we're usually spending about a week to 2 weeks deciding what the allocation number is going to be in concrete, and then they'll start scheduling. And so that's why I like to let people know, here's what the notes are for next month, and here's what the first week is going to be. So, which should be next week for us.
Yep.
Typically, it's the second full week of the month. It's usually how that works.
Basically, Tim spent years figuring out the 4Ds and how to speak it.
Yes, it can be confusing. So,
okay, let's go back in here. Johnny's Car Care and Reviews will not be coming to the Ford's Garage restaurant.
Oh, okay. Will he be in town the weekend though?
I don't think so. I don't think they're traveling anymore.
Oh, okay.
How can a dealership help a Bronco owner who will be covered by the Bilstein recall but now has a failed shock? What does contact SSSC mean for a dealership?
I can't remember what all those S's and C means. Ragnicon probably says, he probably already has. But how can dealership help a Bronco? Typically, because what's going to happen is they're going to replace those shocks.
Yeah.
But probably the reason they haven't initiated the final recall is because they don't have all the parts available. Because they want to have the parts available before they tell everybody, go into your dealerships and have these done. Dealers need to be able to get the parts. And right now, they probably don't have the parts available yet. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's a possibility. Now, I mean,
Alcione says that hers has the recall. How long is it going to take to get the parts?
yeah, we don't. Well, shoot. Here, let me pull up that recall because I try to keep a copy of those recalls. And actually, let me go into FMC dealer because I don't know if they had a date yet set on that. In fact, now for her, she's at a dealer. Is she on the live stream?
Who?
Alciani,
Yes.
Laura. Okay,
She's like, please, Tim, wave your magic wand.
okay. So I'm gonna share this just for a second.
Douglas has it. Special Service Support System Center.
See, there you go.
Ragnar was eating a burrito.
That makes sense. All right, I'm gonna share this just for a second. Probably should do this. Probably get in trouble. So this is a dealer website. So Laura, see this little thing right here on your FSA reports. If you go into this right here, second line, you're going to take that off the screen.
Oh yes.
So if you go right up here to this second line up here, guys, can you see that?
I can't see your.
See
There we go.
you see the cursor? So right here, the second little flag, top Ford FSA in stock delivery hold report. Then you can go in there and you can actually put in what recall it is, or you can go over here and you can put there's the Bronco rear shock absorber external corrosion, right? So there it is. So it even shows you how many recalls there are, how many vehicles are affected, and then parts only program. So this is a parts only program, right? And then usually it'll have the dates. See right here, we're still to be determined on the parts availability. So, and there's your SSSC date. Right there. See
Special
date
Service Support Center.
So, oh yeah, that's right down here at the bottom. There you go. And seed stands for seed stock. And then, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we don't have a date on that yet. So, anyway, but yeah, so there's that. So I wanted to show you that, Laura. So that's where you go if you want to see any of those. So the Maverick one's in there as well. And I look at each day.
Okay, says, nice. I think my husband's service always checks there. That's how he does it.
So
I like that. I'm like, that's how he did it. That's where he's getting his info.
So the Maverick one there saying it's software only, and again, we don't have targeted first quarter. And I've been told on the Maverick they really thought it would be the end of this week, but it's not happening. So it could be next week for the Maverick recall. So we hope.
I get that, Alcione. We have that happen here.
For those of you that have a Maverick around here, we're going to get our stock ones through first. Once that software program is available, we're going right here in the field. Fix all of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so there's how that works. But
well, I mean, we have all the ones over there all flooded in behind the Super Duties.
Yeah, those are some of our 24s too. Now, I was going to go back though, because I do want to see if they had an ETA. So that doesn't show. Well, that one, I guess, since that showed no ETA, that's what we'd have. But go on with another question. I'll see if I can find that. Here it is. So the official recall. So owners of record will be notified via first class mail after repair instructions and parts ordering information has been provided to dealers. Yeah, we don't have, I think, a fix to that. I would say if you're having issues though, they would, I assume would just go ahead and try to find a shock to replace it with. I don't know. There are a lot. Actually, what's funny is I think that Allie had her issue with that shock.
I think
and
so.
I think she
just got shocks.
She got new shocks, right?
Yeah.
So anybody that still has their shocks can get them replaced for free. If you buy your own, if you upgrade and buy your own shocks, then I don't know if they'll reimburse you back. Probably not. If you upgrade to a different shock than what was on it, then you probably won't get reimbursed back.
No, I think she was saying that she found out she has the recall right after she replaced her shocks.
I don't know. I have different shocks on mine, but I didn't have the Haas 2.0 to begin with. I didn't have the Bilstein shocks, so. Anyway, all right, moving on.
All right, moving moving it on.
So I don't know a date on that. So
Okay.
admit that.
Coming up on 1,000 miles on my 24 Lariat, is the motor considered broken, first oil change, and good for towing? You know, we always suggest, we get this question a lot. Check your owner's manual, see what it suggests in there.
There's not really. I mean, here's the deal. There used to be a break-in period for all these, but there really isn't anymore. You can just start using it.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
and I get it. They say that the oil from the factory is not the correct oil, so you should get it changed after a certain period. Again, read the owner's manual, or what I've seen a lot of Maverick owners do is they send their oil for testing to see if it needs to be changed. So check Maverick Truck Club.
I don't know.
But we're not
because
techs.
I've asked our GM and such. I said, hey, is there still like a break-in period where you need to, just do different? Like a lot of people still say, well, no, you need to that first 1,000 miles, you need to do a various different things, whether it be high city driving, you need to do some highway driving, and you mix it up and all that. But he's told me, he says anymore. He says, no, there's not really a break-in period on some of these anymore. But
what I can tell you is that a hybrid will do just fine with the standard 5,000 miles or every, 6 months? How many months? I don't know. Every five. I just go with every 5,000 miles. Standard hybrid. It's 8 years old. It's doing just fine.
Yeah.
So I can tell you from experience, they'll be okay.
I got a notification on my Bronco that I need a 30,000 mile oil change or service should be coming up, and I'm like, what already? I'm like, I just passed 24,000 miles.
Spoiler alert: for most EcoBoosts, it's 1,600 kilometers break-in period. Okay. Let's see. How many Super Duties do they build per month?
I think 50,000, maybe.
The amount of vehicles that go through a factory, it just astounds me sometimes.
I don't know. I used to have something that showed like
Moondoggy. No spoiler alert. Most US does not know kilometers. Why do different Mavericks have different payload capacities?
Yeah, so you got 2,000, you got 4,000. Or payload, they should all be about 1,500. But okay, so they will vary. Every truck, whether it be Maverick, Ranger, F-150 Super Duty, will vary. And the reason they vary is there's a certain gross vehicle weight that they can have, and based on how much weight of the equipment that's on the vehicle, you can lose some payload. So to be honest, and like an XLT is always going to have a higher payload than a Lariat because of all the Lariat's equipment. Like on F-150, you got the power seats and everything else that weighs all these things, and more and more features you have on your truck, the more it weighs, and that takes away from your payload. So a lot of times,
to break it down, trim level gets heavier.
Yes.
As you go up in trim levels, it gets heavier and you lose payload.
Yes, you lose payload. So
or as Douglas says, power seats are heavy.
Yeah. Exactly. There you go.
Got a XLT Maverick hybrid, wasn't updating in 2 weeks after being built, according to Ford's website. Should I be concerned? No. You can see the built status is a coverage until it gets released. That's when you'll see it start to get through the shipping.
Yeah, once it gets released and it's shipped, then yeah, pretty typical.
I don't know. I have that one there. Does the estimated delivery mean much? I noticed on my phone.
Yeah, I think we.
We covered that one. And we covered that one. I guess I wasn't unstarring them. Did we go over that one? Should I keep the manual 25 order or switch it to an automatic? Sounds like it's not a big. Sounds like it's not a deal breaker. Just might not get it until June or July.
Yeah, I would say it looks like the very first manuals won't be made until late April, right? So maybe May. So you're talking June at the earliest. So, I mean, and to be honest, since they pushed a lot of those orders to those late April production dates, they probably won't schedule any manuals this month for
Yeah.
April build dates. So probably won't get, if you have a manual in there, it won't get scheduled till next month. So we're talking getting scheduled in March for probably May production dates. So more than likely, it's going to be June before you'd see it if you go manual. So,
Santa Cruz sales are stagnant. How are Maverick sales?
they're pretty good, I think.
I mean, the 24s are pretty stagnant.
Yeah, 24s aren't going anywhere. But no, we're doing pretty good. I wasn't able to look up and see what our how we rank nationally, but we sold 19 Mavericks, I think, last month. Oh, good amount. I mean, 19 or 20. So we're selling. Right now, a lot of the sales have to do with people that ordered, not pre-ordered, but they ordered their vehicles like in the fall, right? Those people are getting theirs now, and so a lot of the deliveries are those people. But we're having people that are coming in and buying Mavericks, 25 Mavericks off a lot.
Yeah. So my Bronco scheduled build says under interior, marine grade vinyl seats with dark space gray. I thought the order guide says all black. Any ideas which one I will actually get? Image shows all black. What?
Well, I
Trim.
need, I'd say I need to know the trim. Yeah.
What trim level, Scott? While he's doing that, nope, not that one. What is lead sled? So we were talking about the Maverick meetup, and we've talked about the last weekend in July, which is Custom Kemps of America Lead Sled Spectacular. So it is the largest custom show in America. It used to move around and be in a different city each year, and it found its home in Salina. And so they are having the 45th annual show this year. Very large. Last year they had 2,000 competitors. So even if you don't go to watch the show, you can park pretty much on any of the major streets and just see all these cars driving around. You'll see them drive to their hotels and sit outside the hotel and watch others drive by. It's pretty spectacular.
Yep.
So we thought that might be cool to have going on while we're doing our Maverick meetup, just to give you guys something else to see besides just us.
Yep. All right. Did he put what trim level he's? I will tell you the black.
Black diamond.
So on. Okay. So
wait.
for a 25.
Here we go. Big bin Sasquatch with black appearance package and black diamond.
Okay. So. Yeah, so your black appearance package. So your what they'll call the cabin environment will be black onyx in all big bends. So what that means is like your dash, up above, all the environment around is going to be black. And then sometimes they'll tell you your seats are a certain color. So, and a lot of times on that, what you're like, if you get the email is never like right. Half that stuff's not right on the email. They're pulling some stuff, but I think the black, I mean, you do have options on this if you're getting marine grade vinyl with black onyx or the smoked truffle with black onyx. So I'm not sure. You said it said dark space gray, but that's not even an option on the Big Ben with the marine grade. That's only available with the cloth. So more than likely you're getting either probably the black onyx. If it's a black appearance package, I don't know the interior color, but I assume it's going to be black onyx. So.
All right.
I know the black appearance package upgrades all the outside, but I don't know what it does to the inside. But if you chose black onyx interior as your option, which is SV.
It could be a misprint in your email. Those emails are not always 100%
Yeah,
accurate.
and say that the email confirmation with the tracker is not right.
What you can do is ask your dealer to look at your order sheet. That will tell you what was ordered.
Or click on your window sticker too.
That too.
You have it.
If I have a build date for my 25 Lariat Maverick this week of February 10th, should I expect it to come sometime this March?
I would say yes.
Yep.
As long as it doesn't move. It's your Bronco people thought they were going to get theirs built this month. So some of them, so they're going to get moved to April. So as long as it doesn't move too much, then you should be seeing it in March.
Yep. Do you know Ford's Garage is a hamburger restaurant bar? Yes. So Tim actually went there 2 years ago. No, 3 years. He went
2 years ago.
2 years ago and met up with a bunch of people at Ford's Garage in where?
Loveland.
And then last year,
Right.
neither of us was able to go. So they met up without us, sent many pictures. And then this year we are both able to go. So we are headed down. So good hangout place from what I hear.
Yeah.
I've heard
Cool.
it's good food too.
Yeah. And it'll be nice so we can meet on the patio. That's where we had it last time, was on the patio. It's kind of cool.
Well, it's supposed to be 80, so.
Yeah, right.
Well, how long have you been in this business?
Since 2001.
There you go.
24 years.
My gosh, 24 years.
I started April of 21, so before the 9/11 happened. I was here during 9/11.
Wow.
I was right here at the dealership when the airplanes hit.
Yep. All right.
Nothing else? I got these to open up.
All right, go for it. Go for it.
All right, so this in here, should have done this earlier, is from someone in Michigan. I don't like to say their name because I don't know if they want me to or not, but so here we go. And it says, thank you for the swap. And this is, well, I guess it's from Caleb and Rebecca in Michigan. And they sent some of the same stickers that we have. So, and then stickers of the Bronco and a couple different ones. So that's a picture of theirs with a little Sasquatch in front of it. And then their patch too. So the patch looks the same. Pretty cool. So there's that. We'll get those together. And then this in here is from Kim in Alabama. Alabama, right? Oh, there's some patches. There's some stickers in there. Oh, his foot got smashed off because it got caught in the envelope. Anyway, it says Broncos Unite. Thanks for swapping patches with me. Wishing you many great adventures and memories in your Bronco. Here's to the open road, mud trails, and a whole lot of fun. Stay wild. Blako, the Bronco. They're from Alabama, so you can see there's pretty cool patch. And then, of course, lots of different stickers, and a lot of people are doing that. Oh, I do like this, and they have their state, which is kind of cool. So we've been doing that. I've been sending the one with the state, the Kansas state, as well as a sticker of just the Bronco. So pretty cool stickers, kind of like that.
Okay.
So they actually have the Instagram thing on there. But
they
a lot
got
of
the
other
pretty Instagram.
Yeah. And then some Sasquatches, and there's another one of those. Bigfoot. There you go. Pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of stickers there. So that's pretty cool. And then this in here is from New Mexico. Anna from New Mexico. And we got the sticker, the tape, the poker chip as well. So I'm getting a collection of poker chips. That's kind of cool. Little hat.
Oh, yeah. The skeleton with the...
Sometimes you can see that, but this in here, they got a magnet. Some people do magnets. So you can tell they get the, when they do the specials, they do the specials. But here's their patch. So this in here is doesn't have their. Oh, here it is on the magnet. Oh, it's at the top. It's well, Guapo Bronco. Anyway, I'll tag everybody. If you're on follow me on Instagram, you guys will see that because I'll post pictures and then put that on there. I need to start doing that on Tuesday night because I usually post different things from the live stream the other nights. So Texas, Lindsay from Texas. Here's their patch with the pink seats. Oh, and then an airplane. So it says it's underscore Lindsay Lou. There you go. And then they have their Bronco Sport there. So I trade with Bronco and Bronco Sports, as well as Mavericks. If you guys have them for Mavericks too, any whatever.
Or
I don't
anything.
really care. I don't really care.
We got.
I do them all.
Where is it?
Oh yeah, I got a. There was some camper or somebody.
Dottie.
I don't know, but you will see behind us the my patch wall. I redid it, so one of them has just Broncos on it. You see that one over there, and then this in here where people are really getting into right now, where they're doing different, whether it be their state, right there up at the top, the states, in different ways.
You got a lot of Texas here.
Yeah, I do. And then also down here where people are doing just their some things that like they like or they're into
or
right?
Their cars
or the
named
mountains
after,
in the background or whatever it is, which is kind of cool. So I like how they do that. So this in here is kind of like more the specialized, and those are just the Broncos.
I found it. 836 Dottie Open Road is a camper van or a van with a camper.
Yeah. So
and then you also have DRC somewhere.
Yeah. I have 4 of those poster boards of stickers. Because when we traded it, the supercells, I have one for each supercell. So that's the one I'm working on right now to fill up. Oh, there's a Maverick. Yeah, the Maverick.
Yep, so. Maverick. You also have my Lightning.
Yep.
Over here?
Oh,
we have Mavericks on this one. Mavericks.
Yep.
There's a Maverick.
There's my Maverick. That's in town.
Oh, there's a mach-e and a mach-e. I don't think I added mine back on.
By the way, my old Maverick is driving around town.
Really?
I saw it one day.
Whoa.
So I don't know if they're from Salina or just they're in the area shopping, but
Alcione sees her sticker.
I think they got
Yes, that is hers.
I think they got a couple on there.
Allie.
Well, also from the one over there at Tennessee, theirs is probably over there, and that's so. Be careful. But we have now what I started doing, I did this a little differently because the reason I did these boards,
Colorado.
The reason I do these boards now is because in that way I don't have to remember whether or not I've traded with you when I go to an event with you. I'll just make a special one for each event. So that way I get another sticker from everybody. So this in here is from Colorado this last year. And then there's Tennessee. So I think I'll have.
Yeah.
I think Laura's is on here. Right here. So she's got both their two Broncos on there.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. And so at each one. So this year, I think they're going to do it in Tennessee this year, which we're going. And we'll go to Colorado too. So if they do both of those, we'll do another one of those for those. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're covered up in I have these nice pictures from my wall. You can see Niles. This is a picture that Niles took of Kansas. And now I have it all totally blocked up. You can't see it with all this stuff. But what I like is a lot of people put these on their headliners and everything. And I don't know. I want to put it here because I want to be able to I can take it down. I can put that up anywhere. So if we take this like especially since those have suction cups that hold it up, I can take these patches to any of the Bronco events. I can put them on the windows.
Yeah. See,
Right?
and I
And I can put them
have
up.
all of my patches up at my desk because I have a pin board up there that I found they stick to pretty well.
Yep.
I'm on my second board of stickers.
So yes, so that way, that's why I started doing that and collecting and doing the boards was so that way I could do.
Yep, Mike 52G is the Maverick on that one.
Yes. See, there you go.
All right.
Okay. Anything else?
We had a couple questions. My wife just drove my 25 Maverick on a road trip, and now she wants one, but in a Bronco Sport. Will the Bronco Sport be hybrid soon? From what we've heard from the engineers, they don't want to do hybrid in Bronco until they know that it won't take away from the off-roading capabilities, not only engine-wise and that type of thing, but also the clearance.
So
yeah.
if you're Ford Authority, you follow them and believe them, they say in 2027. But we talked to the engineers and they don't have a timeline. I'm just telling you that right now. So what they were going off of,
especially with the mandates being removed.
Yeah. So what they were going off of is that Jim Farley, who said that they would have an electrified configuration or version of every vehicle by 2027 is what they were going off of. Well, that is a goal, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Well,
so that was their plan.
You're going to see manufacturers backing off of EV a little bit because of that.
The mandate.
The mandate.
But here's the deal. Here's the other deal. We had a plug-in version of the Jeep Wrangler back there.
Yeah.
We pictured. You lose. I looked at it. You lose a couple inches, at least 2 inches of clearance.
And when you look at it, the Bronco Sport did get more clearance because they said we added clearance, but they also had to subtract a bit of clearance because the bash plates had to be moved down a little bit because they found that those bash plates were getting pushed up into the oil pan and other parts.
Yep.
So they moved those bash plates down a little bit. So if they were to add that battery, they would need to move the bash plates down even further along with adding room for that battery.
Yep.
So they want to keep the capability of the Bronco Sport the same. So until they can do that, along with adding hybrid, they probably do not have a plan at this time to add it.
Yeah. Yep.
From an engineer.
Yes. So, yeah.
All right. So, RagnarCon, we were talking about how long you've been here. He says, I guess the real question is, what did Tim do before the dealership? We need to have me come in as a guest and sit in your spot, and I interview you, like my podcast.
Yeah, but I'm not a woman in automotive.
No, that's why we do it for your channel. They get to experience what I do with women in automotive, but with you on your channel.
Yeah. Laura, you're on Sarah's radar to interview.
Oh yeah.
So
I was gonna reach out last week, but sick kudos put a lurch in my plans.
Yeah. So yeah. Before that, I worked for a group home, right?
Yes. You were working for the group home at that point. Before that, you were at Brahms.
I don't know.
What's your degree in?
I've been here so long. I have a degree in recreation.
Helps a little bit, I guess.
Not really.
I mean, so recreation, you had to learn how to run a camp, right? I'm sure that helps with business, right? A camp's basically a business.
Okay.
Tim was a pastor. No.
Nope. All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Did they answer whether or not what trim? Oh yeah, they did. We looked at that, didn't we? Okay. Well, look at that. Nothing else. It's 9 o'clock. It goes a little faster when we don't do the scheduling video in here. So again, go back and watch that if you have any questions on that and what's going on for next month. So we'll see what's going on with Lightning. I'm really interested to see that because we still can't order Lightning, but yet we have allocations for Lightning. So I'm really curious on how that's going to run down. And nobody really knows. That's what's really funny is that when they say this is opening up and all that, and then they have like one department's like, oh well, yeah, we should, oh no, we can't order. Well, I don't know. Because me and the GM had a bet going on that one. I was like, you can't order one right now. He goes, well, we're getting allocations. They're going to wholesale for Lightning next month. So we'll be able to order. I'm like, well, we'll see about that. Right now, even this week, it's like, okay, we're going to have allocations next week. Can we order by Monday? So there you go. She's giving away all the secrets.
Well, Ragnar says if Tim had an awesome taco truck back in the day, then as someone who loves tacos, I feel like this could be a valuable information. No taco truck, but he helped manage a location for Brahms here, and then helped manage Brahms and Emporia, where they train the managers.
They may not know what Brahms is. It's just like because Brahms is more of a southern Midwest thing. It's not up northeast.
It's originated from Emporia.
Yes. So the town that we went to college, Emporia, Kansas, is where Brahms started. So if you know what Brahms is, it's like an ice cream place with burgers.
And then a grocery store.
Yes, it's a burger place, and then they have groceries as well, and all that. So that the original Brahms started as a Peter Pan. Well, it was a Peter Pan ice cream.
Yes.
They sold the Peter Pan to somebody there, but the deal was they couldn't come back to sell ice cream or anything in that town for so long. So then when they did, they went down and started Brahms down in Texas and worked his way up. And then when they could go back to Emporia, then that
became headquarters.
Because all their cows are outside of there. So,
but you managed the branch where they set their managers to learn.
I was one of the managers, assistant manager at that store where they did train the managers and went to other stores. So funny thing is I trained the general manager for the store that I came to work for in Salina later as an assistant. So I trained the manager that I was under when I went to that store.
Yeah. So the way I think of it in old Western movies or shows, they have the ice cream parlor may have been attached to like the convenience store where you got all of your other conveniences and whatnot, or you ordered what you needed. You would see the ice cream parlor connected to that, and sometimes they would serve food. That's basically what it is. Mm-hmm. Groceries, convenience store, along with your ice cream parlor.
Yep. All right. That's it.
Add in some hamburgers. Because you can't have ice cream without French fries.
Right. All right. That's it.
Does the Maverick hybrid battery under the back seat ever get hot? I do not know. I would go ask that question in Maverick Truck Club.
I don't think so, because they put like a thing over that battery.
Yeah.
I mean, your 12-volt battery is actually under the rear seat on the passenger side, not under the engine bay. And it's actually not only it's under the seat, but there's a thing that goes a plastic that goes over it. So I would say no.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, but that's a question for Maverick owners that have that. I did not personally have a hybrid Maverick that I drove. Neither did you. We both had EcoBoost. So that would be a question for someone.
My sister's got a hybrid.
Oh, but she wouldn't have known. See, you wouldn't know that it's getting hot unless you are getting in there and you're checking it in hot temperatures or times that you think it might get hot. Because you have a seat sitting between you and that battery. So you wouldn't know it's getting hot unless you're checking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which she's not going to check it because she has car seats buckled in.
Yep. All right. I think that's all we got.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, I almost had a chance to go to Brahms. We have 2 in this town.
Yeah.
So, anyway, All right. Well, I think that's it. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us. And like I said, we're gonna Bronco video tomorrow. We're gonna do a walk around on a trim level that is disappearing from the Bronco lineup, but has a lot of rebates and very highly should be highly discounted by most dealerships if they're smart. And so we'll talk about that in tomorrow's Bronco video, and kind of go over that and probably highlight some of the deals we got going on here. And we'll talk about some deals, some discounts and everything across the board on the Bronco that's going on right now for this month. And if you're out there trying to find a good deal on a Bronco, we'll talk about that. And then on Saturday, I'll probably record that Thursday, either tomorrow or Thursday, for the yes, Laura, on the Super Duty. We'll talk about that the Super Cab's not gone, it's not dead, you can still get a Super Cab. We'll talk about that, as well as the off-road package that you can get on the Super Duty, which is kind of a very inexpensive package, but a great way if you're wanting something you can go FX4 off-road and have some great capabilities without having to go trimmer, and even get it in the Super Cab. So we'll talk about that in Super Duty Saturday as well. And we'll talk about other stuff. Like, you've had a lot of people have a lot of questions about getting their Super Duty scheduled, and we'll go over some of that information in those videos, and then maybe people will see that I do know a little bit about Super Duties, and then they won't dog me so much in the Super Duty Saturday videos.
Yeah.
We'll continue to do those. So, all right, I think that's all I have for this week. Wow, you have 4 or 5. We have 1. We'll trade you some black diamonds for a wild track or 2. Anyway, it looks like to me right now on the Bronco lineup, and since Laura put it in there, that Badlands and Wild Track is what Ford is seeing. There's left over a lot of dealers is those 2 configurations, which is why you see the rebates that are so big right now on those 2 trim levels. But we went the other route and ordered a bunch of cheap Broncos, cheap 2.7s anyway, that we have. So anyway, all right, I think that's all I have. Hope you guys have a great week. Those that are Florida, we're coming. We'll be there soon. Hope you guys looking forward to that. And yeah, other than that, got anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Stay positive. Be kind to one another.
And be kind to yourself.
We'll see you later.